Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It's Friday, the 10th of February. This is our weekly recap. It's around 2:30 in the afternoon. I'm doing this earlier than I wanted to today because I'm going to have to shut power down here for a bit. If you want to join us, a link to smartoptiontrading.com in the description below. Click on live trading alerts. $25 for the first 30 days, cancel anytime. All right. So it's been a great week here in the room. The market's been kind of quiet this week, and today has been just an utter chop fest on the indexes. But you can see here, we put in a high back here on the second. We drifted down. We had this big candle off of Powell on Tuesday, and then that was the high of the week. And Wednesday back down, Thursday down. Today we're down lower, and we've lost the 8-day, but we're still above the 21-day with 2.5 hours to close. I won't probably see that. And the market here is in a little bit of a pullback. The question is, how big of a pullback are we going to get? The oscillators are already getting very oversold, negative 171 on the NASDAQ, 142 on the New York Stock Exchange. Typically, that does not lead to huge, big move downs. Typically, that leads to a small pullback and some type of bounce or move up. We do have CPI on Tuesday morning, so it's possible the markets would chop around. To me, the key level to hold remains 400, and underneath that, the 50-day here at 395, and which is curled up. Notice everything's starting to curl back up. The 200 days flattening out. Things are headed up in the right direction. All right, so let's talk about what was good this week, what wasn't so good this week. AI continued on its little rampage earlier this week, put a new high in before coming off of it up here at 31.92, and now it's just resting. For what it's worth, this is probably not yet over. Microsoft had a huge move all the way up into their event, put in a high of 270. Day after the event, put a high of 276.76, sold off. And this is a reversal candle. We talked about that on that day. Like, I wouldn't be long Microsoft at this point. It run a ton. Yesterday gapped up again and sold off. And here we are holding the 8-day. Overall, just fine. Nice move on the chart. Here's your earnings that were bad. They bought back and all the way up to here. Microsoft holding in just fine. Google really just did not do well with that presentation. You can see here it closed up here at 108. They presented in Paris before the market opened. Look at this move, gap down and big drop all the way here on the 50-day where it's trying to find support. Listen, it's not that Google doesn't have AI. They have a ton of it. It's not that they're not going to catch up. It was that the presentation was horrible and it seemed rushed and they weren't quite ready. What else was really good this week? Microsoft was good to us. Uber wasn't so good to me. Uber gave me some pain this week, couldn't hold earnings, and it came back down. Tesla gave some fabulous trades this week. Beautiful move up here on Tesla. Yesterday was a little bit of a topping candle back here, and here we are just holding the 8-day. First time we're coming back into that in quite some time. This is a good reconnect if we hold here. If not, we'll start watching back towards the 180 area again. After hours trading was great. Disney was a monster. If you took the time to stay and listen to the call like we do here, we always talk about how important the conference calls can be. And on Disney, it was an absolute amazing trade as soon as Iger came on and said cost cutting and layoffs. Net had a good report to trade after hours. So did PayPal on that. PayPal holding in here, hit the 200-day today and stopped. What else today this week? Nvidia has been on a tear, continues to be strong, but again, two little hanging type candles up here, finally capitulating today under the 8-day. This needed a break. This is a huge move ahead of earnings in 2 weeks. 21 days here, Kara could catch that, would be just fine. Apple still trading within the earnings candle, hasn't given it up yet, holding it fine. AMD also still trading in the earnings candle, hasn't given it up yet, but it's weakened and lost the 8-day. Meta has gotten into the earnings gap and below the 8-day, so couldn't hold the 8-day and it's in that gap, so possibly opens the door for a move down to the 21-day and some shorts here. So that's something I'd keep an eye on this week as well. You take us all aside, it was a great week. Boeing remains range bound, but still trying to break above 215, keeps getting there and keeps failing. Energy was on a tear today. Russia, if you didn't hear the news, is cutting 500,000 barrels production a day. That's why energy's moving up. Called it this morning, room traded. This guy forgot to didn't grab the calls on it. New all-time highs on ExxonMobil, one of the leaders there. It's been one of the strongest stocks in the energy sector and remains so out there. The financials this week really didn't do much, kind of just went sideways. Same thing with biotech rolled back over. And overall, the market's sitting here saying it's a little tired. It's getting a rest. It's getting a pullback. Maybe a good CPI number gets us re-energized on Tuesday. So with that said, I'm going to wish you a wonderful weekend. It's the Super Bowl this weekend. Enjoy it, guys. I'll get some charts up on Sunday. Not sure how many, but I'll do something for you guys. And with that said, I'm out, got to shut down the computer, and I'll catch you guys all bright and early on Monday morning.